Guys, the day has finally come, guys. Ultra Vegito finally loses to the first of the five strongest, guys. Listen, I didn't want to say that, man. I didn't want to. I'm kind of nervous for this episode, guys. We may see a Ultra Vegito L in today's video here, guys. So, if you guys didn't see the last episode, of course, we saw the first of the five strongest versus Vegito. Well, we saw his introduction, and we're pretty much leaving off of that. We saw Boo pretty much get destroyed by Vegito, and let's get on to the reaction.
So our story continues with Vegito looking at the mysterious new swordsman who had just arrived on the battlefield, moments before the God Killer was about to absorb the energy of Boo.
Yep, he's gonna absorb the energy of Boo, but then this guy came out of nowhere. This Power Ranger came out of nowhere, right?
A puzzled Vegito would then question, "Huh? First of the five strongest, did you say? What on earth is that? Some kind of Korean pop band? I'm afraid you may be in the wrong manga, bud, because those words mean nothing to me." Before immediately, as if taking offense to Vegito's words, the swordsman swings his obnoxiously heavy blade, yelling, "Well, maybe this will mean something instead. Huh? What are you?"
Yeah, he just started swinging.
Stunned in place.
Yeah, he just started swinging, man.
What
Damn,
the figure even plans on doing from such a distance. As the black swordsman then callously brings down his blade with the force and intensity of a god, and just with one swing creates a torrential storm of wind and pressure that blows straight towards the God Killer and Boo.
Okay.
And immediately, the deformed and disfigured Boo from earlier, with no energy left, is tossed into the wind like a helpless insect, flying far off while...
Whoa!
Whoa! Cool!
Why is his face like that?
It's hit so hard by the intense winds, his entire face begins to shift and blow back, as the high-pressure air reaches into every nook and cranny and cavity in his face. But in the aftermath, as the wind eventually stops, a smirking Vegito is left with his hands dropped back down and his torso arched, as he looks at the stranger responding, "Well, I'll be. All that from just one swing of that oversized butter knife? You're no weakling, are you? At least you better not be, because you've just got my hopes up for a real battle." Disgusting. But the disapproving warrior would just then place his giant sword back on his shoulder and begin saying, "You're just as the Grand Priest had described. A primitive mortal who knows only violence and bloodshed. Too stupid to even know when you are far out of your depths. How you survive so long fighting these so-called gods is beyond me. But this charade ends here, God Killer." But of course, the mention of the Daishinkan in the first part of his reply instantly catches Vegito's attention, as he then remarks, "Wait a second, what did you just say? The Grand Priest? How would you know of him, even in this timeline?" To which the standing tall swordsman would just then briefly respond, "Probably because for starters, I am not from this timeline, my ape-like friend. I was sent here on the orders of the priest himself to eliminate you once and for all." What? Which suddenly triggers the enraged Saiyan, as he raises a clasped fist and suddenly becomes surrounded in black electricity all over, as he yells angrily, "So that's your game? You work for that damn midget! And I suppose by default, you're also a slave to Zeno too! An ally of the gods, and you know what that means, right, friend?
Yep.
To which the swordsman, without a hint of trepidation, angling his head, would then say, "First of all, you do well to address Lord Zeno and Daishinkan with more respect, mortal. But no, please enlighten me. What exactly does it mean then?" It means that you too must die now!
Okay.
As Vegito suddenly now displaying the same hunger for vengeance as he had for the gods, rushes in with killer intent.
He is in his final form, by the way.
Right towards the hardly moving swordsman, reaching within touching distance in nanoseconds. As once face to face, the God Killer would cock back his arm fully to administer one of his signature devastating punches.
Okay. Wait, what?
But unbelievably, even in his final form, some way, somehow, his punch is caught with ease,
Yeah,
like a mere
that music just
baseball
stopped.
in the
Damn,
palm
okay.
of the swordsman's hands. He stopped me? This development, of course, taking
With
Vegito
the
off
margin
guard,
seal,
as this was
by
the
the way.
last thing he'd expect from one who's neither god nor
First of the
angel.
5 strongest.
As the true
5
power of
strongest
his
words
attack
in the
is seen from miles
multiverse.
away, creating a
So I
shockwave
need to have
that
my
rocks the very
expectations
earth
correct.
itself,
Here.
even when blocked. You must have got lucky. Now get off! But as Vegito then
must have got
struggles to
lucky.
remove
Okay.
his fist from the grip of the stranger, he soon realizes just how futile the attempt is, as the swordsman does not budge even an inch. What? Leaving Vegito with a bemused look
Damn.
as he wonders internally.
This guy must be like super strong, bro.
Am I seeing this right? Or is this a fever dream? Why does it feel like I'm powerless next to this guy? It's like I'm glued into place. Just how strong is this metalhead's grip? It's pretty strong, God Killer. Instantly being interrupted with an answer from the swordsman, despite Vegito only thinking within his mind.
Oh, what?
What?
Okay.
You can read my mind? Leaving Vegito stunned as he can only
damn.
explain
Yeah.
the stranger's
Yeah, this guy's
outburst in
OP.
one way.
Whoa.
No, I can't. You're just that predictable.
Whoa. Oh,
Instantly
shit.
then moving his hand
Oh,
and
shit.
breaking
Oh!
Vegito's wrist in the process.
Damn.
Leaving Vegito at first shocked as the adrenaline and shock of the
His-
moment dulls his pain
Is there a
until...
bone just like went like crazy? Oh, no.
Taking in the pain of his own breaking so easily, he yells a blood-curdling scream in the face of the warrior. As meanwhile, the
Oh,
armored
no,
foe
Vegito.
pulls back a fist of his
Oh
own
my
with
gosh.
conviction.
He just like slapped him. Man.
Landing
He
with
just like
extreme
slapped
speed
him around.
and
Yeah.
extreme potency, and not even moments after being
Oh, man.
struck, Vegito's entire body is shot away. Smashing through
I mean,
multiple
after
mountains,
that disgraced King Sadala, I mean, this is a good fight, man. Like this is an actual good fight right here. Okay,
throughout
okay,
the
that boy
entire
Vegito
series.
getting cooked.
Meanwhile, though, noticing all of this, of course, are the Z fighters, with Goku saying, "And now look, this guy's even stronger than the last one. What's going on? Where are they even coming from?" While a triggered Vegeta says, This is absurd! I trained all this time just to surpass Kakarot, and out of nowhere, I'm being blown out of the water again! It's not fair! Damn it all! While the Supreme Kai, being the most nervous of the lot, just thinks, the 5 strongest. I know of them. I'd heard rumors that the Grand Priest was even among that group. Is that fellow really insinuating he's one of the 5? But
So
not
he
down
knows.
and out yet.
He knows
Vegito
them,
soon
okay.
explodes
Makes sense,
with rage
makes sense.
out of the rubble, sending rocks and boulders
But you would
flying
think
all over
if
in the
Zamasu knew
nearby
that,
vicinity.
then he would
His
just,
right arm now missing its glove,
you know, just swap
exposing
bodies,
his rings,
you know,
but still
with an
deformed.
angel or something
he
like
then
that.
grabs onto it and
Oh.
violently snapping it back into place, despite the pain.
like, okay.
And then with a newfound annoyance, he lifts up his now fixed up fist into the air and yells, "First of the 5 strongest, huh? Get real, and nobody like you is nothing! Allow me to introduce you to the strongest in the multiverse!" Before lowering his head with nothing short of a furious expression and continuing, "And allow me to introduce you to my body, as your energy will be mine." Before a strange sound activated by his black eye then sounds off. But soon a look of surprise comes across the swordsman's face. But it isn't from Vegito's deadly threats, but instead... What? As the warrior looks into the sky, something far more alarming is seen, with 4 ominous figures in the sky shooting down towards him. And eventually, when we
angels?
zoom in,
Makes sense.
it is unbelievably
He knows this
revealed
guy
the
is like
ghostly
very strong, so he needs to bust out the
apparitions
angels for this,
of
you know,
the
for this one.
angels Vegito
The gods of
has
destruction
thus
probably
far.
wouldn't do anything. I mean, maybe they could
Margarita,
Hakaya, maybe? I
Cognac,
don't know.
Vados, and Martinu, all seen rushing down silently, but with ridiculous speed, as expected of the angels. Seeing this from below, the warrior can't help but think, the angels. No doubt about it, the energy signatures are the same. So this is the cretin's power? Using the power of deceased angels for his own usage, and against their will? This blasphemy cannot be forgiven. As quickly, the swordsman swings his blade back, crouching his stance and readying himself until... He launches like a cannon, sword in hand, straight up and towards the 4 approaching angels.
Okay.
And instantly, in a flash, outclassing the speed of even the 4
I swear, it's literally just like a
instinct
Power
users,
Ranger, dude. Like,
the
I'm like
mystery
so serious
warrior
about the
appears
sword.
right in the thick
It's almost
of
like
things,
Great
right in the
Saiyaman
middle of the
4,
four
right? Like
until-
Trunks. Looking at the Dragon Ball Hero, so it kind of is
grabbing
like
his
very
sword
similar to
tightly
that sort
and...
of.
Be at rest, my angels! Before swiping his massive blade with the utmost of power.
Okay.
And in
Man,
one
we just
fell
cut straight
swoop,
through him,
it
okay.
appears all 4 of the angels are sliced dead set right through the middle, with each of the ghostly angels left shocked as a result. And though despite the slice, nothing seems to come of the attack, the swordsman then turns his head in a look of respect and lets out, "I'm sorry. I vow to free you from this nightmare soon enough, my friends." Before immediately then vanishing from the spot, leaving the angelic apparitions even more bemused in his dust. Immediately then reappearing on the ground below again, staring above at his supposed victims until... launching his blade once again with force, he then... stabs the very earth with his blade as if trying to injure the planet itself, yelling as he does so, "Your suffering ends here!"
Okay, so they started Hakai.
And just like that,
So, okay, so let me
all
get
4
this
of the
straight. He
divine
got up,
beings are
sliced them.
right through the middle
They were just looking like-
unceremoniously, as if being affected by a highly
And then
delayed attack.
he went down to the ground, slammed his sword, and then they started Hakai.
On
Okay.
at the unlikely events, thinking to himself,
That's interesting. There's something
he
else.
just took out 4 angels without breaking a sweat? There's no way! Ridiculous! In a flash, causing Vegito to become angered to the core, his body instantly once again creating sparks of black lightning out of his own volition, as he raises his right hand up and inexplicably then closes it tight. And almost in response, as if the planet were a slave to Vegito, the ground beneath the swordsman suddenly begins breaking apart to his surprise. And within an instant, a hole of massive proportions opens to a near bottomless pit beneath the warrior. And as he inevitably falls in, he wonders momentarily, what a primitive move. When would he have even had time to prepare this? Before beginning to fly back up thinking, how foolish anyway. Does he really believe I cannot just fly out? Before, just as he said, he then launches into the sky straight for the entrance of the hole.
Okay.
But just as he reaches the very top and his head begins to peek out, yet another shocking sight greets the ironclad fighter as his eyes grow wider and wider and he mutters, "No, this cannot be! The Destroyers!"
Whoa.
Right in front
Okay,
of him
there's
now,
the Destroyers.
stretched
Okay, he did
over
bring
a
them
line
out.
Are the 5 gods of destruction that Vegito
Are
had
they all
absorbed.
gonna like throw like a
Kitana,
Hakai ball at him?
Belmod, Champa, and Topo included. But the worst was still to come. Hakai! As immediately
Yeah,
the
they
reason their
all
hands were
said it.
stretched out becomes clear.
They
and
all said it,
simultaneously, all of them release the call of the Destroyers at full power straight down onto the helplessly trapped swordsman.
Damn, this guy.
What? Even the Destroyers are under his control? As the sight of the chosen Destroyers by Zeno himself being commanded by a mortal sends shivers down his spine.
Okay, that makes sense.
No! As not too soon after,
Yeah, he
under
does
the
start
might of
disintegrating.
5
Yeah, that makes
Destroyers
sense.
Hakai, his very own body begins to erase right before his
Man,
eyes.
that was a good tactic by Vegito.
Even the strength of their destructive energy is intact. This is truly their power. As he becomes shocked at the confirmation that these are indeed no simple clones. But with this revelation, only anger fills the noble swordsman, as he then says, "Forcing me to annihilate the angels of the Grand Priest is one thing, but now making me lift my finger against the gods themselves? You will pay for this, Vegito." As suddenly the swordsman lifts his sword wildly in the air, and mysteriously it becomes coated in a very familiar purple energy of his own.
Okay.
Blade of Destruction!
Whoa.
And just
Yeah,
like that,
Blade
in
of
yet
Destruction,
another
okay.
single swipe, the swordsman sends back the Hakai energy striking his body. Back
he
at the
sent it
Destroyers
back?
themselves, and with such
How?
force, it
Okay.
erases them near instantly, as the warrior just whispers under his
He
breath,
is still kind of like,
"Forgive me."
he's still kind of like, you know, messed up, right?
This move, much like the one that took the angels out just as easily, finally breaks Vegito, as his hands drop, and with a look of pure disbelief, he begins internally reflecting. He can wield the power of Hakai too! He can outspeed the ultra instinct of the angels, and he took them all out in a matter of seconds. After everything I've been through, all the hardships, all those battles, have I truly been outclassed this much by some random freak? No, I refuse to believe this. As behind Vegito in his mind,
those are
a medley
the
of all the progress
the flashbacks,
and battles
man.
he had until this point flash before his eyes. Meanwhile, though, the Dark Swordsman, now having dismantled the gods, just jumps up into the air, landing on the ground with a thud, his erased body returning back to normal.
Okay, so it's returning back to normal. Okay.
Once again stamps his massive sword right back down into the ground, as if the earth was his very own sheath. And now, staring at the God Killer with an unbridled look, he lets out coldly, "You. Never in all my life have I ever met a mortal with such disdain, such impudence, and disrespect for the Creators. Beings such as yourself should not exist in this plane. The demon realm is the only place where your kind can remain trapped. And I will be the one to send you there, demon!" As his face suddenly then shifts to one of pure emotion.
It's like you like barely see his mouth
wide,
sometimes,
yelling
right?
mouth almost even becoming visible under his mask as he...
Yeah, so he does have a mask.
swipes his blade back, ready to swing, as the sword itself suddenly becomes engulfed in an aura of its own, including black lightning that spontaneously bursts forth all around it. "Demon! The only demons here are those you work for, you slave!" As totally enraged and incensed by his foe's words, Vegito is quick to angrily yell back, "I'm the one who had everything taken from me! Millions upon millions of lives erased at the blink of an eye! And if those are your masters, then you too will share the same fate!"
Oh wait, is that the Zamasu thing,
Vegito's
bro?
true full power begins to emerge with the Zamasu halo he gained from fusing with Black. Now
I believe this gives him, what is it, infinite energy, or like what is it? I forgot what that gives you.
In a sinister dark aura too, until within the palm of his hands, a staff of energy appears right within his palm. Could it be some kind of angel staff? No. Call me the Grim Reaper, because this planet will be your grave, swordsman. As Vegito, with
so he
a
has the
massive
Goku Black
grin
Scythe.
and overflowing
I mean,
with
he should like
sinister
know how to
energy,
use it since
reveals
Goku
within
Black is
his
inside of
hand
him, right?
The Godslayer Scythe, modeled exactly after Goku Black's own, making Vegito now the true bringer of death. Come here, slave boy! As Vegito,
He looks
now
crazy
full of
getting in this
confidence,
shot,
with
man.
all three of the Saiyans
I mean, this is actually like
being
a sick shot right here,
utilized,
I'll be honest.
shoots forth with speed straight at the mystery warrior, beckoning him to do the same. Gladly. Which, of course, the swordsman, having been confident the entire
Vegito
way
is
through
going
the
full
chapter,
power here,
kindly
guys, so
obliges, rushing in
we'll-
once again
we'll
with
see
his
what's gonna happen here.
gigantic sword coated in energy in tow. And thunderously, their chosen weapons then clash head-on. But they aren't colliding for long before the swordsman rotates his body like an elegant ballerina and prepares for yet another swift attack. This time crushing on the ground as the unprepared Vegito just narrowly dodges out of the way in time. Or at least, we thought. Since as once we get a fuller image of Vegito in the aftermath,
Actually
his right
with
arm shows a gashing wound.
That was crazy right there. Okay.
As Vegito,
like a whole 360 smash, bro.
The exchange says, "Damn it, I'm not used to fighting with weapons. This freak must be some kind of sword master. Those moves are far from natural." Before looking down,
yeah, I mean, you could use your God Slayer blade, right?
"That thing is no butter knife either. I'm fully powered up, and he still managed to slice my skin with the slightest of grazes. I need to be careful here. Otherwise, I might just have to visit Dr. Gero again."
Yeah.
"Well, if I can't win by outclassing you up close, then show me how you deal with this!" As Vegito then instantly begins powering up in his hand an energy beam in response. A type of attack to this point in the story this swordsman had displayed no usage of. And Vegito...
That is true, I just noticed that.
"Yeah! Cut this, freak!" Immediately tossing the high-powered energy ball that from the looks of it is designed to explode on impact no matter what it touches. But the opposing warrior, not taking the bait, as if utilizing Ultra Instinct, dodges to the side instantly as the vicious beam shoots right past him. But at the same ridiculous speed as he showed against the Angels, within nanoseconds, before the beam had even completely gone past him, he reappears right behind the stunned Vegito,
this dude is fast,
already in position to strike again, letting out, "You underestimate the power of the 5 strongest, mortal. A mistake you will soon regret." But Vegito, not one to be one-upped, immediately then displays his own speed, vanishing at the very last second. Reappearing miles away in the distance, perhaps in hopes of creating some space. But with the swordsman already noticing him, he lets out ominously, "Running away already, are you, demon? Get back down on the ground!"
Oh, damn.
Immediately appearing within seconds with inexplicable speed.
I mean, this guy's just
again,
overpowering
and
Vegito.
slamming
I
his
mean, there's
fist
nothing else that needs to be
onto
said.
the unprepared God Killer. Leaving Vegito to
I mean, this is
crash
like
down
this is
the
literally
ground
similar to what happened to
right on his
Zamasu, right?
backside, with now
Literally
so
slammed
much
on his
God
back,
Ki
bro.
now used, his
I think
sight
that Halo's
and
probably gonna
Halo
go away.
even disappeared. As the injured Vegito comments, How is he moving like that?"
I swear that
It's like
Halo
he's using
thing is supposed to be like
instant
infinite
transmission,
energy, right?
But even faster than I can even react.
Kinda forgot.
The 5 strongest. Do they really surpass even Ultra Instinct? Eventually then getting onto one knee, raising his bruised body up with what's left of his strength as he continues, "Even with all the energy of the gods, the angels, Black and the power of the Margin Seal, I can't keep up with him at all. That sword, could his power be linked to it somehow?"
Oh no, dude, don't do a King Cole, bro. Please don't do a King Cole.
But almost as if the blade hurt him,
Don't
in
do a
classic
King
style,
Cole
is stabbed
Vegito.
into the
Don't,
ground.
please.
As the swordsman, still holding tight onto the handle, as Vegito had noticed, then goads him, "Give it up already, scum. In these weak universes, you may have convinced yourself of being powerful, slaughtering these second-class gods and angels, but you fail to realize the difference between gods and those that came even before them. There are levels to this game, mortal, and you're barely past the tutorial stage.
The tutorial
I've
stage.
seen children more powerful than you in my time.
Oh, damn.
What did you say? This speech, however, does nothing more than fuel Vegito's anger even more, as he grips his fist tightly and yells back with Saiyan pride. Shut up with your lies! The things I've gone through, the power I've attained! You are no match for me, let alone the priest and that toddler. I refuse to believe it.
Okay,
and if you keep pushing me, you and this entire multiverse will find yourselves at the foot of a power that will haunt you forever! But unfazed by any of these threats, the swordsman just pulls out his sword once again with force and screams back, Enough with your insolence! You are nothing but a deluded insect in a world full of giants! Your story ends here and now! As in a completely unexpected move, the first of the 5 strongest then tosses his own sword with unprecedented speed.
He tossed the sword?
Shoots off straight for Vegito.
I thought he shot a
more
ki
like
blast.
an energy beam than solid objects. But despite everything the first had said, in the end, Vegito just in the nick of time would be able to move and dodge completely from the blade's path, as it shoots past, with no sign of stopping anytime soon. This development leaving the God Killer of a smile, as Vegito then perhaps prematurely says,
Oh man.
You see, that's what happens when you underestimate me. Now you have no sword and... What? But just as fast as the sword was thrown, so too does Vegito's facial expression turn to one of pure astonishment, as his eyes burst open wide along with his mouth, unable to say any more. And right in front of him again, with that miraculous speed, the black swordsman appears within touching distance of the God Killer. Instantly though, Vegito snaps back into action, and the two titans then clash together, one fist clasped by the other on either side, as both spew black lightning from each of their bodies. At first,
he already like kind of
solidly
broke his
into each
arm
other's
before,
eyes
so...
at a deadlock until, with a rageful change in expression, Vegito tenses his muscles and shouts, So, now you think you can test my power without that little dagger of yours? I thought I told you not to underestimate me, but I guess you weren't listening. Bow down to me! As immediately with no more words to be said, both Vegito and the armored warrior yell at the top of their voices, as each becomes surrounded in an almighty aura. And from a distance, just the standstill of the two struggling creates a concentrated mass of energy so large and so powerful.
For a second, I thought his sword was
any
gonna come back like a
everything
boomerang
that
or
would
something,
dare
but I
come
guess not.
close to its vicinity. But of course, still in the background, utterly powerless to do a thing, Goku and the Z Fighters carry on watching as their very planet rips apart. As Goku comments, I've never seen anything like this. Just their auras are doing all this.
Oh yeah, I wonder what
If this keeps up, the Earth will
I wonder
be
what this
done
guy's
for.
aura looks like.
But while the Supreme Kai is in a
The
similar
first of the
state
5
of shock and
strongest?
awe,
Like what does
he
his
would
aura
just
even
think,
look like?
This is unbelievable. What should I do?
I guess it could be the
Will Beerus
thumbnail,
even
but
be able to do
I don't know.
anything to these two?
No, no.
But as the Z Fighters watch on, back with the God Killer, a stunning development has been made. As finally, the stalemate has seemingly been broken, and the swordsman, with what looks like a panicked look on his face, is forced somehow onto one knee. Of course, all the while, a smiling Vegito continues to push down as he yells, Yes! Like I told you, bow down to me! And now, absolutely brimming with arrogance and confidence,
it looks like he has
proving
fangs,
himself
bro.
that
What
he
the
is
hell?
in fact
Vampire
stronger
Vegito?
than the so-called 5 strongest. Vegito, with a truly demonic smile, would then let out, I told you! I truly told you! Just as much as Gohan told Cell. Once you pushed me, there would be no going back. There are no limits for us Saiyans, and your energy is now No!
Whoa.
But just as things finally began turning out good for Vegito, suddenly, from behind, a certain sharp object seemingly slices the preoccupied and still gripped by his foe, Vegito. Overpower me, get real. Leading to the swordsman, then letting go.
Oh, damn, so good. Yeah. Okay.
Before then jumping straight into the air to catch his flying sword.
Oh, wait, so it did come
the
back?
Same object that just pierced right through the god killer.
Okay.
And at first, there is no reaction, but as soon as the handle is grabbed,
Whoa!
in some of the most brutal and bloody scenes of the entire series, the aftermath
that
of
Halo
the attack
got splintered
is
too.
finally seen. With Vegito
Yeah, he got cut in
through
half.
perfectly through not only his stomach, but also through his right arm.
Yeah, wait, so it did come back like a boomerang, right?
Stunned look on his face as his body parts begin to separate due to gravity, with him just muttering, You got me. How? Before the slam, simultaneously his severed arm and torso.
Yeah, his
falls to
severed
the
arm
ground.
with the time rings, man. He
One
can't even
spurting
activate
of
it.
blood lower half just drops to
Yeah,
his
he needs to put like 2 on each
with
hand,
his chin
bro.
now dug into the dirt,
Like-
the still completely gobsmacked face Vegito, laced with adrenaline, in shock, leaves him muttering nonsensically, This can't be the end! I'm afraid it is, God Killer. But the swordsman, not letting up with his now absolute humiliation of Vegito, then looking down at his prey, would say, You truly thought so much of yourself to believe even as a lowly mortal, you could overpower one of the 5. And it's that overconfidence and naivety that will lead to your demise here. You have lived for decades, while us higher beings have survived for millennia. You could have never reached our level,
Damn, millennia,
let alone that of the Daishinkan. And now, I must be the one to dirty my blade with your wretched blood. Before the armored foe would then walk closer to the downed Vegito and immediately lift his sword above his head, and right in line with Vegito's neck, ready to finish the God Killer in the most gruesome of
damn,
ways.
he's gonna collect his
while
prize.
Vegito, trying to clutch onto any way to survive, would yell, No, no, my time rings. I'll be back. I have 7 lives. To which the swordsman,
I have 7
still
lives.
holding his sword, would just coldly respond, Do you really believe that? Or have you conveniently forgotten that I chopped that hand of yours too? There's no coming back from this one. No plot armor, and no arch to save you from
No
this.
arch.
What? My hand! No! Stop! Leaving Vegito to yell one final time in vain before... Die, God Killer!
Oh, damn. Oh, damn, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Guys, listen. That was Ultra Vegito, bro. Damn. Damn, man. That guy, bro. I don't know what his name is, but that dude is crazy, man. That guy is crazy, guys. So I'll see you guys in the next video, man. We're gonna see what happens, man. We're gonna see what's gonna happen in the next video, man. I'll see you guys then. Peace out.